most of the time people are sitting like this.
Yeah.
Whether it's stress, whether it's too much work, whatever else is going on. Right? In fact, there was a lady today I treated, and she's been having these numbness, tingling, also pain, neck, shoulder for quite a while now. And one of the major issues is stress for her, in her case. And because bulk of the day she's in this position, she's always on. And she gets in the car and she's like this. So breathing is so I can give her tons of exercises, but that's not the real treatment for her. In her case, stress management and relaxation would be a better option, so breathing exercises. Whatever works for you, right? So I've told her to go out and walk in the woods in a relaxed environment. There are a lot of simple yoga breathing exercises I've taught her that were very effective for settling down. Again, you're bringing your nervous system out of sympathetic, fight or flight mode into parasympathetic mode. That should be the goal, right? And everybody's working here in the system. And so your goal is to bring it down to this parasympathetic mode, which is relaxation and recovery. That's the mode, that should be our goal, to work with that. Fight or flight is, if I'm going to get hit by a car and I need to cross the road quickly. So I take it off and I do what I need to do and I come back to baseline. Most of us are, good thing about the population in the big cities is functioning on fight or flight in a sympathetic mode all day long. Because you're driving and you're pissed off at the guy and you're trying to beat traffic and you get to work and you're rushing. So, in fact, there's a really good book. It's called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. Check it out. It's by this guy named Robert Sapolsky. And he's done, I think he's at Stanford, he's done a bunch of research for the last 30 years. And it's the basics is, he went to Africa in the 70s or something. And he looked at, he was looking at, I think, a troop of monkeys, and he was trying to figure out why certain members of the group get sick, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, all these other problems, why certain other members are not getting that. So the head of the troop was not getting these problems, right? The subordinates were getting a lot of these problems. So it's the amount of stress all the other ones are dealing with in order to stay in that hierarchy with this other guy. And they were having problems that we are facing, cardiovascular issues, diabetes, and all these other problems. And so, and he went further and he realized, as he did more of his research, that zebra goes into fight or flight mode when it's getting chased by a lion. And the phase is over the moment the lion's gone. You're back to grazing and you're totally fine. But everybody else, there's a physiological reason for that response to save your life. But after that point, you need to go back to baseline again, which is not happening when, if you're not getting chased by the lion, you don't need to be in this phase all the time. Yeah.
But wait, can't you get more done in sympathetic mode?
For how long? You burn yourself out. That's the problem.
Life is a journey, not a sprint.
Yeah.
It's cross country. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
And you're right. The other thing you have to think about is it depends on the individual, your individual psychophysiological makeup, as I said earlier. The genetic code, where your mom and dad give you your resilience to do a certain amount of stuff. I have a buddy. He works 16 hours a day, and he's always been like that. The guy is just built like that, and he can handle a lot of work, and he's able to sustain that level. I don't know for how long, but that's just the way he comes. Yet I know other people who work 6 hours, more than 6, and they're done. Their system can't handle it. So there are both things to it. You're right. You do need to go in that mode at times to crank out stuff, get stuff done, and be active and engaged. But then you have to come back to get your reserves back up. So the people who push, if your system doesn't allow it, you will burn out.
We need to study that guy that works 16 hours.
Say again?
We need to study that guy that works 16 hours.
Oh, I can tell you what it's about.
What's the trick?
What's the trick is he's got certain genes from his mom and dad. That's just what it is. He has that resilience. His system has to handle that compared to somebody else. It's just that's basically what it comes down to. So the goal isn't to be like him. The goal is to be the best you and figure out this is what works for me. Maybe I work better in this much in terms of spurts, then I need to taper back, get my reserves backed up, then I go and do this again. And so you work back and forth. But he might be predisposed to other issues. We don't know. I'm not saying it's a good thing that he works that many hours. You had a question.
The moss is very helpful.
Yeah.
I've been using it since '76. Schmorl's nose disease, and other chronic issues. Then when incidences come up or crises or traumas, I've actually been able to use it.
That's great.
It's still there.
Yeah.
It just feels like the foam rather than the light.
That's good.
36 years. You've been using it 36 years?
Yeah. I'm in pain all the time. Always. In my lower back. And it used to be my leg would fold up all the I kissed the cement a few times. It's been no warning. So I've been through.
What do you call it?
I use Lamaze techniques, breathing. Also, oftentimes, if I feel an onset coming, that it's getting aggravated, I'll go out and I have a real thin futon, and I'll lay down on that with my legs up over the sofa. So that turns my pelvis to relieve the pressure on my lower. Sway back. Or use a chair with an open back so my legs don't fall over. And usually I'll wake up about 3 or 3:30 in the morning. And I'll get up, go to bed, and I'm good to go the next morning. I'm better off than I was a week before. So other techniques like leaning against the wall with my legs out, some other things. Body pillow. Oh my. Don't take my body pillow. It's basically like a 3-foot bolster is what it is. And I just hope, it's like hugging a tree and sleeping at it. Because that keeps my pelvis from getting that shift in my spine. And I live for that. Traveling is miserable.
What effect does the state of your body have on mental acuity?
Mental acuity?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can look at it this way, if you're, there was a quote I read, and it said, "The weak body leads to a troubled mind." So, I mean, you can go both ways, right, with that, in the sense that if you're not active, I mean, let's look at it just from a physiological standpoint, just getting up and walking or activity level, like circulation, just from that simple standpoint, it's going to eventually affect things in terms of making you more sluggish, and for that matter, if your activity level goes down, you're not going to be able to go out and get as engaged or stimulate your mind. And so I think you're physiologically doing the circulation and just getting activity level up, but also other ways too, because the actual ability to go out and engage and do things go down too. And if you're in pain, if you're not doing well, you're not going to want to use this as much. It makes it a lot harder. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys just in terms of basics setup as to what my thoughts are on it. There are 100 different ways, and everybody tells you something. Okay. So the big thinking always is, and obviously this is not the light hike that we're going to make do. We're going to work it. So usually here, whether it's a customized chair fit to the person, all these things, you need to sit all the way back. You have to be flat, be close enough to here, and ideally the top of the screen should be at about eye level. Okay, and I'll send as I said, email. I'll scan it and I'll send an email to Elsie with the and it shows all the angles where things are supposed to be. That way, at least will give you an idea. Okay, and they can get it out here. So most of the time, what I find is this sitting back business doesn't work. Not when you're typing, but even otherwise, I find. And I do a fair amount of typing myself, not just now at the hospital with the assistant, but even outside the hospital. I do a fair amount of computer work myself. And I have found that what I found to be that sitting back, eventually, even if this wasn't here and I scoot forward, not closer to the object, right? This is closer to me, and this was, let's say, a little bit lower, or I was a little bit higher, right? After a while, it'll still lead to this kind of stuff. Invariably going to slump down in this position. And this is where that, you stay here long enough, most people tend to get stiff right here. Not just stiff in terms of the muscles are getting stiff. After a while, you start getting hypomobility, stiffness of those joints through that region. You start getting stiff there. One, as I was telling you earlier when I was standing, the ability to look up and stand up straight will start to decrease. The second thing is going to start happening, which is the more common thing you always see people doing this kind of stuff, hanging out. The head forward posture. Okay? So that is going to compromise, close down disc, nerves, all these things coming out through. And then you have compression and impingement of these nerves and all these structures that are supplying your arm. And with those, whether it's the hypersensitivity of that nerve when you're doing this stuff, but there's got to be usually something else going on through the system. Okay? So the goal has to be to work at improving the mobility of your upper back to get you a little bit better up in this position, right? But what most people do, they do this right after a while, they're like, okay, let's do it. See that over 15, 20 minutes, you're back down again. And the process repeats itself. Okay? Because you just can't sustain that position for X number of hours. It just doesn't work. Okay? Did you have a question?
Has there been any studies, or are you acquainted with anyone that has stood at the computer as opposed to sitting?
Yeah, there's a big movement right now, and I hear about it more and more. And in fact, I've had some patients stand, not necessarily for neck-related things, but more for low back stuff. The sitting doesn't work too well for them. Standing, right with my patients, they can stand. They prefer to stand. And, or they prefer to have a high stool, so they can stand for a bit, sit down, they can vary the position. So, but again, that requires the ability to have equipment, having a table that you can raise up and do other things. Most